Welcome in, everybody, to the 423 Football Podcast. Today is our Friday show, just 3 days before Christmas. So happy holidays to everyone out there, if you celebrate Christmas, that is. But yeah, we got a big week ahead of us. A lot of games going on. Championship week. That's what this is all about, and this is going to be our League of Record KPT BALLAS Week 15 recap / 16 preview. So it's championship week officially. We've been in the playoffs for 2 weeks. I'm going to break down everything that happened in our league here in a few minutes. But first, I am going to go through the news, just a little bit of news that has popped up over the past couple days, or the past day since you've listened to our last show. So first things first, we got Samaje Perine. He left Thursday's practice with a groin injury. We're just going to have to monitor that. Doesn't look good, though. Definitely not good. Not really looking to start Perine in this matchup, regardless, playing Denver. So maybe just I wouldn't expect anything out of his backup or anything like that. I don't even know who his backup is, really. But Perine is definitely, I'd probably say no-go, even if he does play. The Packers will not only be without Aaron Rodgers, but also Davante Adams has been ruled out with a concussion, so neither of them will play. Obviously, Rodgers has been shut down for the year, trying to keep him healthy for the future, and the Davante Adams shut down with a concussion. It remains to be seen if there's really going to be any relevant Packers in this game, honestly. Jordy, you're not playing them. I feel like one of the Packers, maybe Randall Cobb or Janis or Trevor Davis, will have a decent game, but still, I'm not willing to start him, so it's not really relevant. Jeremy Maclin, doubtful with a knee injury. I talked about on Twitter, how I really like Mike Wallace for this week. If Maclin is out, Mike Wallace, his past 3 weeks, I think they've been all above like about 7.5 points, so Mike Wallace could show up again this week. Devin Funchess, dealing with a shoulder injury, expects to play this week, so I fully expect him to be out there. Playing Tampa Bay, great matchup. Disappointing week last week, but I think it was just a Greg Olsen show. I expect Devin Funchess to be a lot more involved. We got Devontae Parker, Emmanuel Sanders, Deshaun Jackson, all dealing with their respective injuries. We're just going to have to monitor all of those throughout the week. I believe they're all ankle injuries, by the way. So just monitor those. Keep an eye on them if you have them in your lineup. Amari Cooper, he is on track to return this week. So good news for Amari Cooper owners. Still not he even when he has played this year, he's been very, very boom or bust. So maybe not the best play here. I like Michael Crabtree more than Cooper in this game. O.J. Howard has been placed on the IR, so it's going to be Cameron Brate the rest of the way, or for this week, most notably, because obviously Week 16, I don't know how much we can say this, just do not play your fantasy matchups into Week 16. It just ruins the entire thing. A lot of teams sit their starters. Even this week, the Eagles might be considering sitting their starters if the Vikings lose to the Packers, granted, Packers are going to be basically playing backups. If that were to happen, that's the early game, and then the Eagles play later. The Eagles may be inclined to pull their starters in this game, so Week 16 is going to be Week 17 would be no better for that. So it's just a mess. Do not play into Week 17. Okay, so yeah, O.J. Howard placed on IR. Cameron Brate may be a viable option. I know he was banged up in the last game, but he came back in later in that game and did okay. He looked fine out there. Didn't really look that hobbled, but Cameron Brate maybe a little uptick in value with O.J. Howard being placed on the IR. Greg Zuerlein has actually been placed on the IR with a back injury. That one was kind of out of nowhere. We didn't really see anything until they made the announcement, but I mean, Zuerlein was the best kicker in fantasy. I know kickers don't mean that much, but Zerline was putting a lot of people through. He was getting close to double-digit points every single week. He was very, very consistent. Rams' offense is the best in the league. So if you do have Zerline in your lineup, make sure you go and get him out. Ezekiel Elliott, last bit of news. Ezekiel Elliott looks good according to Jason Garrett. I'm just going to say, basically, he's back. I didn't expect anything other than him looking good. Obviously, the coach is going to say that, but Zeke, I fully expect him to have a great game this week. He can just be thrown back in the lineup and he can do great things. So, I expect no regression from Ezekiel Elliott or rust of any kind from that man. Okay, so that's all for the news. I'm going to get into the Week 15 recap from our own league of record, our KPT Ballas League. So, not really, other than it being the semifinals, I'll just break this down. It's championship week now, so obviously we had semifinals last week. So, as you guys know, Heather faced Kevin in the one semifinal, and Matt faced off against me in one of the other semifinals. Heather handled Kevin pretty easily. It wasn't that close. 121 to 108. So Heather is in the championship, and then we have Matt going up against me. That, if you listen to our past couple shows, you probably heard that I lost by 0.8 points to Matt, 106.32 to 105.50. So actually a little more than 0.8, but either way, under a point, under 10 yards basically of offense. I went on a rant last couple shows about how that went down. You can go check those out if you want to hear exactly how I lost, but definitely brutal losing by a point, and I'm pretty sure stat corrections have already gone through, so there is officially no hope for me. Heather and Matt will face off in the championship game. I do want to mention the consolation bracket, just because, it's I wouldn't say it matters, but, it's fun to keep going in the league. Obviously, everyone wants that top prize, but I just like playing the game, so if I was in the consolation bracket, I'd be just fine playing there. Steele beat Peyton, and Brett took down Joseph in the consolation bracket. So Brett and Steele will be facing off in the consolation. So as I said, Week 16 matchups are going to be Heather and Matt in the championship, and then myself and Kevin will be facing off in the third place game. I do want to mention obviously bragging rights are a big thing, but we do have a monetary value that is given out, or in our league, monetary value based league, I should say. First place gets money, second place gets money, and third place also gets money. So mine and Kevin's game, a little bit on the line there for the third place. I do want to give out a few awards for this past week because I'm only giving them to people that were in the semifinals. So first one, pickup of the week, going to Matt. Matt gets the pickup of the week for picking up Robbie Gould. Robbie Gould, 22 points in our league. 22. That easily, I shouldn't say easily, but very much helped him defeat me by 0.8 points. 0.8. If he would have missed that last field goal at the end of the game, I would have won. If he would have missed any of those field goals, if he would have missed one extra point, I would have won. But Robbie Gould, great pickup by Matt. I think he was the number one kicker on the week, so definitely put him into the championship. And then the Heartbreak Award, I'm just going to, I guess, this is the last time I'll keep milking it. Like I said, I don't like being bitter about fantasy football because, it could happen. It literally, if Robbie Gould or Greg Zerline or one of those guys makes an extra point or misses an extra point, I'd be the winner in that matchup against Matt, and Matt would be going on the same rant that I am right now. So it cuts both ways. It's just fun playing fantasy football, and that's why I love it. I love football, and I'm not gonna. That's what I'm saying. I'm not gonna milk it too much after this. But Heartbreak Award goes to me for losing by 0.8 points. That's all I'm saying. Moving on. Unreal Combination Award I'm giving to Heather. Heather, as I already mentioned, she's in the championship now. But she rode her team on the back of Mark Ingram and the Ravens defense, who combined for a unfathomable point margin of 47 points. 47 points. That's incredible. Mark Ingram had 27. Ravens defense had 20. Great games from both of those guys. So, I mean, that easily put Heather into the championship. Okay, before I close out, this is going to be a really short episode tonight, or today, I should say. But I'm recording this Thursday night. We actually had Kevin's bachelor party last night, so we had a great time. Kevin getting married in about a week, so just shout out to Kevin and his fiancée. We had a good time. We went out, had a great dinner, drank a few beers, listened to some music, played some games and everything. I mean, it was a great time. But yeah, Kevin's gonna be the first of us to get hitched. I don't know who's gonna be next, but it's definitely not gonna be me. I know that. I gotta learn to take care of myself for a little bit. But anyway, I do want to say just a little heads up for the rest of the year. Obviously, we're about to get into a new year, and with that new year, fantasy football comes to I wouldn't say abrupt halt, because there's still like FanDuels and daily fantasy sports, and some playoff tournaments you can get into during the playoffs. But I will say once the playoffs begin, we are going to move to one episode per week. We'll talk pretty much all things football, especially during the off season. It'll probably be more like the NFL draft and preparation for what off-season moves teams are going to make and things like that. So it will probably be a little less fantasy football and a little more just football in general. But we'll still be with you guys at least once a week. So I will say next week, week 17, we will have 3 episodes next week. But after that, that's when we will officially move to 1 per week. So that's going to be all for today. Just a reminder, go check out our show from yesterday. That's our Week 16 preview. Got to make sure you hear those starts and sits. You'll definitely need those to claim that fantasy football title. Got to get that championship. Got to get that trophy. We all want it. We all covet it. Make sure you get it in your league. So follow us on Twitter and Instagram at the423football. Make sure you're up to date over there. Like us on Facebook. Leave your comments and questions. Share us with the world. Thanks for listening. We are the 423 Football Podcast.